at its best. Monday.
Dave kicks off a week of headline entertainment tomorrow on The Late Show with David Letterman. Thanks for watching CBS. Now your local news.
Straight ahead on the TV8 Late Report, Republicans are ready to take over in Washington, and that could mean big changes in the welfare system. If you're on welfare or a taxpayer, you don't want to miss that story. Plus Sunday liquor sales in Shreveport. All of this plus sports, that's coming up straight ahead.
KNOE-TV 8, Monroe, West Monroe.
Live from the Television News Center of the Arklamis, this is the TV8 Weekend Report, your #1 choice for news.
As of today, Shreveport cash registers are ringing up Sunday alcohol sales, and some people here say it's not such a bad idea. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Michele Sampson. Voters overwhelmingly passed a referendum which allows them to buy beer and wine coolers on Sunday in Shreveport. Convenience store operators pushed for the change in the liquor law, saying Shreveport businesses could be on equal footing with Bossier, where Sunday alcohol sales have been legal for some time now. As TV8's Ashley Doughty tells us, there is now some talk about selling liquor on Sundays in Ouachita Parish, and it's a controversial issue that splits the city in half.
Often referred to as the Bible Belt, a majority of towns between Monroe and Shreveport outlaw the sale of alcohol on Sundays. It's an issue up for debate in Shreveport now that a referendum was passed to approve Sunday alcohol sales of packaged beer in wine coolers. The new Shreveport law has Ouachita Parish residents arguing whether or not alcohol should be sold in our town on Sundays as well.
And I just hope that we as ministers in this area, not only in Monroe but West Monroe and the surrounding areas, would stand against it and try to keep a positive influence and atmosphere.
But many residents do not see it as a question of religion.
They stock up on it on Saturday night, so, you know, why not just let them buy it on Sunday? I don't see anything wrong with it myself.
Beer and wine cooler sales are already legal in few Monroe restaurants, as long as it's served with food. And convenience store operators say they would like to see their weekend sales boost as well.
You have a lot of people that come in wanting to try to buy alcohol on Sundays, in which we don't sell it. But I think it would increase sales. A lot of people maybe would drink alcohol watching football games and such on Sundays.
It's evident Ouachita Parish residents are straddled over the Sunday alcohol sales issue. But it's an issue in which voters may be faced with one day. Ashley Doughty, TV8 News.
Small waste oil fires are still smoldering on a gas platform near New Orleans, but now residents want to know what's burning, and officials are trying to find out how it all started. More in this report from New Orleans.
It may have been sparked by a welder's torch. Witnesses told police a worker from the St. Bernard Well Service was trying to cut a pipe on the platform when it exploded. That worker has not been found and is presumed dead. Police say 3 others were slightly burned.
And any fire that puts out that much smoke and that much flame from 2.5 miles away is a real hot fire. Probably right now the rig where it's burning, the metal is probably white hot.
But another big concern were the chemicals that officials feared could leak out.
Well, I could tell you just a little bit about the hydrogen sulfide. It's toxic. It's flammable and explosive.
Hydrogen sulfide is a byproduct of the high-octane gas the rig pumps. But a Coast Guard test showed none has leaked into the atmosphere. What's burning now is cleaning materials left on the rig that officials say will slowly burn themselves out.
The product's being consumed, so there's no water pollution problems, and it's far enough offshore that the smoke is not causing anybody a problem. So we really got, the situation's fairly static.
Karen Swenson for CBS News, New Orleans.
Louisiana's riverboat casinos are trying to deal a deadly blow to the health of Mississippi's gaming industry. Mississippi gambling officials say some of their Texas customers are now stopping in Louisiana and not making it to Mississippi to spend their money. But Mississippi officials say they aren't worried about the competition. They say Louisiana's casino industry is different from Mississippi. Grand Casino spokesman Joe Giordino says riverboats in Louisiana don't have the feel of being a land-based casino. He says the person looking for the Las Vegas-style gambling is still coming to Mississippi. But officials can't deny that some casinos along the Mississippi Gulf Coast are having financial difficulty, and they admit that if more neighboring states legalize gambling, Mississippi's casinos could be in danger there. Over 400 juvenile offenders across the state are awaiting transfer to a state facility for the young criminals. After months of negotiations, state prison officials are hoping this week to open a 350-bed detention center in Madison Parish. But the facility is still awaiting approval from a federal judge. Jimmy LeBlanc, the department undersecretary, says if the order is signed, prison officials will begin moving juveniles Wednesday into the Tallulah Center from 3 crowded Louisiana training institutes located in Bridge City, Monroe, and Baton Rouge. When the new prison opens, it will employ 120 people in an area which has a 10.9% unemployment rate. The old training institutes will be used to house juvenile offenders now locked up in local facilities. The Louisiana Blood Center is drawing more than blood these days. They are also drawing the winner of a free trip to the December 19th face-off between the New Orleans Saints and the Dallas Cowboys. The winner will be drawn December 11th from those who give blood through December 10th. You can always donate blood at the center at 615 Wood Street here in Monroe from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. On Thursdays, also, the center is open from 8 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Well, if you were in the right place at the right time, well, that's the only way you could have won the $11 million lotto jackpot. One lotto ticket was purchased in Jefferson, a suburb of New Orleans. The ticket was a quick pick, and it matched all six numbers in Saturday's Louisiana drawing. In case you missed the numbers, they were 4, 7, 15, 23, 27, and 43. Now it's back to the drawing board. This is a TV8 Late Report, and I'm Michele Sampson. Still ahead, Republicans are taking over Congress, and that could mean changes in the welfare system. Changes you might want to hear about. Republicans are making plans for their takeover of Congress, and on top of their agenda is a radical revamp of the welfare system. Plans put forth by House Republican leaders include cutting off monthly support checks to young unwed mothers. Susan King looks at what impact that might have.
If Newt Gingrich's plan for welfare reform gets okayed, orphanages may make a comeback.
We want to bring a bill in the first 100 days to the floor.
Republicans' Contract with America called for radical changes in welfare. States could eliminate support for young mothers, those under 21, and use the money to build orphanages instead. Or they could limit the time new mothers get child support to 2 years or less. Gingrich suggests shortening that time to 60 days at most. Who then would help poor mothers get diapers and bottles?
Yeah, I think that the burden, frankly, is going to fall increasingly on private charities and on a substantial shift away from government.
Ironically, in 1993, giving to charities was down by 8%. The Salvation Army worries about becoming Uncle Sam's new safety net.
The needs are far too massive, too pervasive in the entire fabric of our society to say that charitable organizations can do this thing by themselves. We can't.
Details of welfare reform are up for grabs, but changing the system is not.
It's going to be hard to say. We're not going to give you more money for having more and more children once you're on welfare. But we're doing that because we love the people that are beneficiaries of welfare.
Welfare reform is a big subject, and we ought to start it very early on. Mr. Packwood will be chairman, and it's for him to decide.
Republican control of the Senate means Moynihan lost his leadership role in this debate. Welfare's aid to dependent children is a $17 billion program. So to really shrink the federal budget, Congress may have to cut food stamp and housing subsidies. 14 million Americans currently are on welfare. 9 million of them are children.
There are those who would argue that welfare gives children a leg up on poverty, but they're not center stage. Work rather than welfare is an idea whose time has apparently come. Susan King for CNN, Washington.
Well, after a one-day visit in Manila, President Clinton has moved on to Indonesia. Attention now goes to to expanding trade with Asian powerhouses. That begins our look at world headlines. Clinton arrived in Jakarta today for a summit with Asian and Pacific leaders. He wants the conference to set the year 2020 as a goal for open and free trade throughout the Pacific. Clinton also says he'll press the issue of human rights in meetings with leaders of China and Indonesia, two nations accused of human rights abuses. And in Spain, hijackers are threatening to blow up an Algerian plane unless political prisoners in Algeria are released. The plane was on a domestic flight in Algeria when three hijackers forced them to divert to Spain. Some 36 hostages on board. The hijackers have released at least 3 people. And in northern Utah today, take a look at this, folks. Old Man Winter sent the message that he's not too far away. A major snowstorm belted the Salt Lake City area, blanketing the landscape with up to 2 feet of the white stuff. Fouling travel throughout the region there. The storm triggered scores of traffic accidents and left many roads nearly impassable. But, of course, that's good news for skiers. And it is definitely winter there.
Definitely. Something different for our area today. The sun actually came out.
Oh, that's
How about
great.
that?
Great contrast, that sun and that snow.
You bet.
So we'll tell you all about today's weather forecast and your weather forecast for the work week when we come back. Stay with us. I understand it was a beautiful day today. I didn't get a chance to enjoy any of it, but...
It was a beautiful day. Sunshine peeped through the clouds, and as a matter of fact, I hope everybody had the chance to get out and enjoy a little sunshine today.
It's kind of warm today.
Yeah, it was nice and comfortable today, but sunshine is something that looks like it's going to be in short supply for the first part of the week here in the Arklamis anyway. We'll check out our current conditions for you. Now, our temperature here in Monroe, West Monroe, is 63 degrees. The relative humidity, 97%. Winds from the southeast at 6 miles per hour. And the pressure has begun to rise. 30.08 is the current reading. And checking temperatures around our area, 58 degrees in El Dorado at this hour. In western Mississippi, Greenville reports in with 66. It's 63 in Jackson, 66 in Alexandria. And in both reporting stations in the northern part of the state, 63 degrees at this hour. Our high today here in Monroe was 75. Nice comfortable temperature this afternoon. The normal, though, for this time of year is quite below that, normal being about 67 degrees. Last night's low was 56. The normal for this time of year, 42 for an overnight low. And the records on this date, 88 degrees, that record set in 1955, 27 degrees, the record low temperature, and that was set in 1950. Now, looking at the satellite view of the United States, and as we put that into motion for you, here's a scenario that we've seen over the past few weeks quite frequently. Another frontal system moving into our part of the country with rain showers and thunderstorms along that particular cold front as it moves off toward the east. Rain showers receiving all the way from northern Texas into the southern Great Lakes region of the country. And also another thing we wanted to mention was a late-season tropical storm down in the Caribbean, or actually in the Atlantic Ocean now, just on the eastern tip of Cuba. To the north of the eastern tip of Cuba is the center of Tropical Storm Gordon. At this hour, the center of the tropical storm is about 305 miles southeast of Nassau in the Bahamas, which is just off the southern tip of Florida. Maximum sustained winds out of this particular storm are at about 45 miles per hour. Movement is toward the north this evening. It's expected to take a more northwesterly course as the first part of the week progresses, and that could bring some more rain and showers and thunderstorms to the state of Florida, as well as high winds. There are now tropical storm warnings for all of the Bahamas and gale warnings for the eastern coast of Florida, and we'll be keeping an eye on Tropical Storm Gordon as it trucks on to the north throughout the first part of this coming week. Now, the rain extending from northern Texas through eastern Oklahoma, one heavier thunderstorm in Oklahoma at this hour. Most of the rest of this line of showers and thunderstorms is just light to moderate rain, and those are the showers that are indicated now in the eastern part of Oklahoma and beginning to move on into the northwestern corner of the state of Arkansas, and you can see those showers extend on across the Mississippi River into the southern part of the Great Lakes. And as we showed you before on our news, snows this evening and earlier today in the Rocky Mountain region of the country and also the central and northern plains. And some rain this evening in Florida also. On our surface map, there's the frontal system and the showers of thunderstorms accompanying it as it moves off toward the east. High pressure on both coasts as we move on into the first part of the coming week. However, in the nation's midsection, showers and thunderstorms and cloudiness will be the rule as this frontal system moves on toward the east with the cooler air behind it and warmer air in the southeastern part of the country. Let's look at the forecast for the Arklamis for tonight. Mostly cloudy. The low should be about 62, winds from the southeast at 5 miles per hour. And tomorrow, cloudy with a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Tomorrow's high 74, winds from the south at 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, cloudy and cooler as the frontal system passes through. The rain chance still about 30% for tomorrow night. The low tomorrow night near 52. And on Tuesday, cloudy and cool with a 30% chance of rain. And Tuesday's high will be only in the mid-60s. So here we go again. More cool weather and damp weather for the first part of the week.
Sunshine, huh?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Larry. Still ahead in sports, the Saints played a thriller today. We'll have the highlights. And for you Cowboys fans, we didn't forget about you. That's sports next.
You gave us your choices. Now see the top 5 episodes of Backroads and Best of Backroads. One each night at 5 beginning November 14th. Best of Backroads only on TV 8 News at 5.
I probably won't get any fan mail for saying this, but I'm not a Cowboys fan, so I'm kind of happy today.
That's true. They played a great game, and the Saints played a great game as well. If you like watching, you're a Saints fan, that was the one you wanted to see. The Saints' slim playoff hopes were dashed last week when Minnesota scored a touchdown with 5 seconds left to beat New Orleans. Today, the Saints entertain arch rival and divisional foe Atlanta. New Orleans comes in 3-6. The Falcons 5-4. Plays from the NFL in just a moment. First, your scores. Arizona sends the Giants to their 7th straight loss. Chicago blocks a late last-second field goal to beat Miami. Cleveland dominates Philadelphia. Matt Stover 4 field goals. Cincinnati sends the Oilers to their 6th straight loss with a last-second field goal. New England comes from way back to beat Minnesota in overtime. Drew Bledsoe, NFL records, 45 completions and 70 attempts. San Diego comes back to beat Kansas City. More on this one in just a moment. Denver downs Seattle. The Raiders win in the Battle of Los Angeles. Green Bay downs the Jets. And Detroit handles Tampa Bay. Well, a great day all around for games around the league and some great performances as well. So we will take a look at the outstanding plays of the day. It's Nebraska remaining number 1. Penn State is 2. Florida is 3. Bama moves up to 4. Miami is 5. And it's Auburn dropping to 6 after the tie with Georgia. Colorado stays 7. It's Texas A&M at 9. Colorado State is 10. And now for a real treat, and football fans, oh, we got to get to it. Roll this tape. You got to roll this tape. This is a real treat for area football fans. Some of the best weekend athletes got together tonight at Forsyth Park. They do it every night. And this is an ugly collection of athletes. Ron Sander, one of those. How about Brad Huff throwing the touchdown pass to Marty Dexter? This is the Forsyth Bowl, we'll call it. Look at Sander go deep. It's the only pass play he knows. Hooks up with Steve McGehee on the long touchdown pass. And then Ron, one more time, throws another touchdown pass. But I heard after I left, his old nemesis, Jared Brown, showed up, picked him off 4 times, caused a couple of fumbles, knocked down, and a couple of hurries. But I think Ron's team won.
No wonder you came back late.
That's true. I had to go watch the Forsyth Bowl.
Okay, we'll wrap it up for you after this. Well, ice cream parlors are now a thing of the past. Arcades are for kids. Now there's the coffee house, and it's making a big splash. John Huck reports.
I'll make you guys a cappuccino. This isn't your father's neighborhood tavern. Hoisting a few takes on a different meaning at coffee houses, where the ambiance from place to place is as different as the coffee drinks on the menu. From the staid and bookish to the laissez-faire attitude of a European cafe, to something you might have found in your mother's kitchen when Eisenhower